can't put all of your energy into one gear. Remember, we talked about our 10 gears of balance. You can't put all of your focus into one gear because the rest of your gears are going to become misaligned. And you have to figure out how to make sure that your whole life is balanced on all scales. You're putting as much energy into your future as you are your present. That is the main goal that you need to focus on, because if you focus too much on your future and you don't focus on your present, the very things that are working with you alongside of you to get you to the future, they're going to crumble. They're going to crumble beneath you, and then you're going to get to a mountaintop and it may not be where you want to be.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build a game.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. We're back in the lab once again at 4:23 a.m. Please, before we get started, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. How are we doing, Mac, on this cold Thursday morning?
Doing good, man. I can't complain about nothing. A little tired, but working through it.
I feel it. You know what? It's speaking of tired. Like it's crazy how, and it's not just us. Like people put themselves through the ringer, like round after round after round. And some people, they have something to speak for at the end, and some people they do it to no means of an end, which
Yeah.
is just it baffles me. I was talking to a dude yesterday. Talked to him 2 days straight because something happened at the job. I had to go back to a work site or whatever. And we just got to talking. Real nice guy, older guy. He's like in his 50s or something. And he was talking about like how he had a kind of like a string of bad luck or whatever. Got let go from one job or whatever. Got hurt on the next job he was trying to get on to. He was only there for I think 3 days or something. Had a fall, hurt his shoulder. Might have to do like surgery on his neck or whatever. He's like trying to get disability. He's been working for construction work almost like all his life or whatever, and he hits this
And
point
therein lies the first problem.
right. And he hits this point where like they can't do nothing for him. Like he's put years into these jobs, and like he's struggling now. Like he ain't as worse as he could be, but like he's dependent on this disability check now. He can't work now, and there's none of the jobs that he's had is like coming to his aid. Like he probably got some money that he saved on his own, but other than that, he's basically on his own. Like he has to deal with all these bills, medical problems, all this other stuff by himself. Like,
Man, it's weird, man. Like I hear so many stories like that. So many stories like that, man. People just they going through stuff. It's like you were just living your life. Everything was going smooth. everything was gravy, everything was peachy keen, and then one day you just get caught with your pants down, and you just up the creek without a paddle, and I just be like, yo, how you end up in this situation, man? Like you ain't see this coming at no point. Like, yo, what happened here, man? And I I ended up talking to somebody yesterday that we know from the job that from my job. Um, and like he was telling me like a similar story, man. And I was just like, and he was like going in about it. I was like, yo, um, you didn't see this coming?
Hmm.
I'm like, look, I'm really trying to be like receptive to everything you're saying. Like I'm trying to, be sympathetic, be open and all that other stuff like that, trying not to judge and all that. Like I ain't, casting judgment on anything, but you didn't see this coming. And then when my man told me that, he's known this for like 3 months now, that his situation was happening, and like essentially he getting kicked out his spot because some family members they'd changed their mind about they'd reneged on some stuff that they said they were gonna do.
I know exactly who you talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and like when my man said I've known for like 3 months now, and we still complaining about it like it's brand new. Like I was like, bro, what? Like we haven't like what's going on with your brain, bro? Like, I want to be sympathetic for you, but like, dude, like, come on now, get it together, bro.
But and with his case, it's like because I don't think he was paying anything. I think he said he might have been like helping with like groceries or something, but like
Oh, see, I didn't even know that part of the story. Like, that's a whole no, 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 no. We don't need that killed the whole
that's
episode right there.
it's a strong maybe. I don't know if because I know the guy you're talking about, and I'm like I'm not really sure if he was actually contributing. That's why I'm like, because when he told me the story, he was like, he was living there for free or whatever, and they just upped and was like, well, we we need money, and if you ain't paying, you gotta find some other situation. And we struggling just as well as you are, But that
I, I told him, bro, family first. He was like, but they are family. I'm like, look, but you ain't immediate.
mm, mm, yeah, I had that I ain't have a situation like that, but it was I had a uncle or whatever that had recently passed, kind of right after my grandma or whatever, and I was like going through the thing. I was like, uncle, that seems immediate. We talk to him very regularly, whatever. We seen him very regularly, And I'm like going through the the bereavement process, and I get to that list. I'm like, there's no uncle in here. That's that's a
I mean,
little.
there are ways to get around that, but you can't be a goody two shoes and want to do everything by the book. I done seen
I
people get
understand.
I done seen people get paid leave when they baby mama's cousin uncle died. Like
Come on.
I'm saying some crazy stuff. Yeah, paid leave. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So
it's just like it's even with like family, there's a system. Like you don't really talk to your second cousins like talking about, your immediate family is literally just like whoever is in arm's reach almost.
mhm.
And I don't really understand how we put a I guess borders around family. Like certain family we just kind of and I understand, all right, if they're not providing value, sure. If they're being more of a pain or a nuisance, or like, they just coming around just to, keep you in the same spot, sure, yeah, cut them off. Put up a wall, put up a castle, whatever around them, keep them out from destroying, your kingdom or whatever. But sometimes we treat family so differently over just kind of like title alone. Like if you weren't there from birth, you ain't really family. We share the last name or share a name, share a family connection or something. But other than that, yeah, it's weird, man.
Yeah, you seem to be the person that is asking for that relationship, and I seem to be the opposite. So I'm not sure if I can really relate to any of that. I'm like literally like, yo, okay. I'm literally like, yo, like I ain't got no connection to y'all. Like I'm good on that. Like we ain't gotta talk. Like I see my family now, and I treat them just like people I went to high school with, and like I'm just like I just keep it moving.
Feel that. I feel that. But
Me and most of my family don't share a name either, so like my dad's side of the family got the same name as me, so
okay.
that makes it easy.
He said that makes it easy. Oh
Yeah.
man. All right. So what sparked this episode that we getting into today? Tell me
Man,
more
yeah,
about that.
so generic about that. Like we could have had a smoother transition in that. So check this out, folks. I came across this post on Facebook, and one of the many times I scroll on Facebook, people think I be joking when I say like my timeline on Facebook is literally all positive stuff, like stuff that uplifts me, stuff that like I got a whole bunch of stuff that literally makes me get off of Facebook and go back to work. Like people really be tripping when I tell them that, like, yo, cause they say like I gotta take a break from Facebook, man. It's too negative on there. I'm like,
You
yeah,
control it.
negativity wants what negativity gets, man. I'm just saying, like, for real. But yeah, like the one of the many times I scroll down Facebook, one of my Facebook friends posts, and it's weird, right? Because like I'm really picky about the things that I see on my timeline, even though I don't even scroll down Facebook like that. Like I'm real picky about what I see on my timeline, though. But check this out, my like the person that shared this, I unfollowed them a while ago for some negative stuff that they used to post. But all of a sudden, when they posted this, they immediately showed back up. So I thought that was kind of weird, or I thought that was kind of strange, and I don't know what's up with that. I feel like there's some privacy policy broken when that happened, but we ain't gotta go there, but um Facebook do whatever the fuck they want. But anyway,
I mean that's true, but
um,
I mean you said you ain't block them, you just unfollow them.
yeah.
So it's probably just like the algorithm saw the post as like something you're interested in, and maybe it was like, okay, they had a previous
That's a
connection
little
with them.
invasive.
It is.
It's a little invasive. Do what the
Just a
fuck I
little bit.
say. Do what the fuck I say. But
But
yeah, the post. I'm gonna read the post here because
mhm.
when I saw it, I just scrolled past it, read like the first paragraph, and then I was like, "Yo, hold up, what that just say?" It was one of
Mhm.
those. So I'll read that out right now. So it starts with a question: have you ever thought about this? In 100 years, like in 2123, we'll all be buried with our relatives and friends. Strangers will live in our homes we fought so hard to build, and they will own everything we have today. All our possessions will be unknown and unborn, including the car we spent a fortune on, and will probably be scrapped, preferably in hands of an unknown collector. Our descendants will hardly know who we are, nor will they remember us. How many of us know our grandfather's father? After we die, we will be remembered for a few more years. Then we are just a portrait on someone's bookshelf, and a few years later, our history, photos, and deeds disappear in history's oblivion. We won't even be memories. If we paused one day to analyze these questions, perhaps we would understand how ignorant and weak the dream to achieve it all was. If we could only think about this, surely our approaches, our thoughts would change. We would be different people, always having more, no time for what's really valuable in life. I change all this to live and enjoy the walks I've never taken, these hugs I didn't give, these kisses for our children and our loved ones, these jokes we didn't have time for. Those would certainly be the most beautiful moments to remember. After all, they would fill our lives with joy. And some of us wasted day after day with greed, selfishness, and intolerance. Every minute of life is priceless and will never be repeated. So take time to enjoy, be grateful for, and celebrate your existence.
All right. So the first thing that stood out to me in that was like, and it's crazy because we kind of talked about it with the guy I was just talking about. Um, all it takes is like a simple mind shift. Uh, the dude we got on a conversation about like uh his personality was like he just if he can help somebody, that's all he wants to do. Like he ain't in it for the money. He was talking about like the people in the neighborhood. He had a lady across the street. He had a neighbor or whatever. Her car was broke down, and he went the extra mile, gave her a jump, asked if she needed a ride to work or whatever. All this other stuff. Basically just being there for another person. And to him, it might just be, all right, I'm just helping this person out. But to that person in that moment, that might be, the moment that someone talked that person off the ledge. Like you don't know how close people are to the edge to just like call it quits. But just a simple post of positivity, a simple gesture, simple hello, simple smile their way would just brighten their day. And like that's all it takes. Just be there for one another. We are so stuck, and we got on that conversation too. People are so stuck on selfishness, on being for themselves that they can't even enjoy life because they're so in themselves, which is ridiculous. Because you would think, all right, this person is so conceited, so selfish, they must be happy because they're pushing everybody away, but they're the most miserable people, and they're lashing out because that they're filled with negativity. Like it ain't a selfish person in this world. Well, they got money, yeah, but that's another story. But uh, it a selfish person is only gonna get as far as they can get, and then they're gonna hit a wall, and then they can't go no further than that. Like the post said, once they pass away, once they die, they they might be remembered for maybe a couple more months, but life is just gonna roll right on. It's gonna keep on continuing, and then whatever their possessions were, whatever they had, gets either put up for auction, gets sold, get destroyed. Uh, but all that hard work that they did for themselves ends with themselves.
What I what I get from this passage is a note about being intentional about everything that you do.
Hmm.
And I agree with everything that you just said, Mark. And I understand that there's like a lot of people who are just doing like it kind of speaks to why we do the things that we do. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like why we get up and go to work every day. Like what are we doing this for? Like it kind of answers that question because like most people when they're doing their day-to-day lives it's just because they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
But the problem with surviving is that you're not thriving. You know, and one of the issues that I have with that situation is that people know they're not thriving, and they're like when it comes, like from my perspective, right? You know, as we talk about the legacy thing, like it's okay to help people. Like, yeah, I'm not saying that helping people is a bad thing, but like we got to talk about the scale in which we helping at this point, because like I'm on the whole you forgetting who I am after I die thing. Like I ain't trying to have that. Like I if it's you know the law of averages work on every scale, no matter how you put it. The law of averages are going to work for you know a lot of things. If a few people are at your funeral, then a lot of people are going to forget you. You know, but if millions of people attend your funeral, then the chances are that people are going to remember you for a long time. Like you know, Stan Lee passed away and people gonna remember Stan Lee for a long time, bro. Like you know, the people, Walt Disney, the month, Walt Disney World. Who was Walt Disney? Literally, it literally sparks the question: Who is Walt Disney? The man died almost 50 years ago. Like, who is he? Like for real. But it's a the most important thing to me, right, is that my grandkids know where they came from. That's the most important thing to me because in my family right now, like nobody really thought that was important. Like my dad's dad, like when they asked the question, you know, who is your grandfather's father? Man, I don't even know my grandfather.
Hmm.
He wasn't even important enough for me to even know. Nobody even passed down stories about him. I don't remember my dad telling me no stories about his grandfather. I hardly remember my dad. Like real talk, like there was really no incentive to remember these guys because they didn't really do anything. All they did was survive. So like when I hear this, I'm just like, yo, what is it that you need to do right now to make sure that people that your name live in infamy, that your name is on the tip of somebody's tongue when they say, all right, who built this, who funded this, why is this here, what started this, who started this, and your name come up in all of those categories and it ain't something negative. Not only that, but while you were doing it, you managed to make sure that the people around you and the people that was in your immediate influence that they were able to have full access to you without restricting it because you were just trying to survive or make it in your current mission.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still trying to strive to get to that point in life, but like a lot of people, they don't want that. They don't even see it as feasible, and I'm like, I don't know if maybe if it was like
Bruh,
distilled
I
into
don't
us
believe that,
or
man. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Who wants to be forgotten after they die? Like who can literally like I can't even think. Like even the person who want to kill themselves are doing it to get back at somebody. Like I ain't never heard nobody who who okay with dying and okay with people not remembering them. Like that's is not that don't brains don't usually work that way. It's a miserable feeling.
it is, and I'm like, why why aren't we more inclined to be memorable? You know, like, and maybe it's just people don't know what that looks like, or I mean, but it's plastered everywhere. Just
Everywhere.
do something great, something that you love. Like there is maybe people just overthink it, and it's just like, oh, I gotta be dumb rich to be remembered. Once I'm dumb rich, I can make this great invention to wow the masses or something. But like, it's people literally out here just being kind, just doing what they love. You got streamers that are they just playing video games, talking.
Gandhi ain't had no money, and we still remember him to this day.
Big facts.
That man was a monk.
it's just live for something that's not you, basically. Just
Yeah, that's what
live
it
for
boils down to.
the people around you, and that's all it takes. Just be a bright light to your neighbors, to your friends. Like, you ain't gotta have millions and millions of dollars. Like you just said, Gandhi was a monk. He didn't. I don't even think the man like had a penny to his name. Like, most of the stuff I believe was like given to
Ain't no
him, was
telling.
donations and all this other stuff. Hell, he might have just grew his own stuff for real, for real. But because he was so helpful, because all he did was share knowledge. That's it. He saw a flaw in a system that doesn't really help people, and he was like, I think I can help. He grew natural foods. He made basically smoothies, I guess, and he helped people. He helped people get better just by sharing knowledge, just by showing them that, hey, what you're doing, if done differently, can have these results. And there's so many people that have testimonies about, how he helped them and all this other stuff. And we know this man today. I
But I think about how deep that is. People who had testimonies now of of just his word alone, like with
mm-hmm.
like his philosophy. There's people who can get a quote from somebody who dead and been dead for ages, and they
Yep.
can change their life.
Yeah. And that's all it is. Like, one just that one simple thing right there. If you have an impact on just one person, that impact can have a domino effect and trickle down from generation to generation. You teach somebody a skill, and that skill helps out that person. Then that person teaches that skill, and that person it just continues on. And it all started with you.
And all they gotta say is, my grandfather such and such taught me this when I was young. I just don't really understand the whole like sit back and let life happen to you kind of mentality that that some people get as it pertains to this. It's like you waiting on something to happen to you, waiting on something to happen for you, and it's almost like you are expecting people to remember who you are. Like, like, and you can have a conversation with some folks who like kind of unlearned about it, and like they will try to insert themselves into certain generational topics. But it's like, like your grandkids they don't really mess with you like that because you're not really interested. You ain't really did nothing. But like they just kind of pass you up, and then like folks getting mad about it because they're like, and that's the worst part about it. You alive and they still don't mess with you like that because you still don't add no value to them. Like, it's so weird, and it's all because people focus way too much on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And bruh, like when I say when I tell people that I want to be able to plan the next 100 years of my family's future, you wouldn't be able to imagine the reactions that I get when I say that, bro. Supposed to be trying to give me excuses to stop.
What?
Like it's so foreign of a
That's
concept to them that they be trying to give me reasons to stop. They're like, yo, you you can't do that, right? Like,
what?
yeah, I can. But what if your kids they won't be able to. But you can't control them. I ain't trying to control them. I'm just saying I got guidelines. Like
Right.
if you will remember who the hell I am because I pretty much in control even after death. Like that's where I want to be right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
when Jamal King taught me, hey, bruh, check this out. Like the knowledge of things is out here. The knowledge of things is out here, and people are forgetting these things. People are forgetting simple things like, technology is booming right now, and folks are focused way too much on the wrong thing. So therefore, their actual human life skills are being forgotten. There are people out here who are reminding you of those human skills, like, take time to network. That's a forgotten skill. Take time to communicate with people. That's a forgotten skill. Be courteous. Also, forgotten skill. Like, these are things that people like are forgetting just because there's too much technology in front of them. And I never think I would take anything from the current class that I'm in. I thought it was boring as hell, but I heard that and I was like, yo, that's real life. And so therefore, I'm writing an essay on it this week. But that's beside the point. Anyway, like, there are people out here teaching the fact that these forgotten skills are a thing. Like, we're adding a spotlight on the fact that these forgotten skills are a thing. So like, they're making a living teaching you about the forgotten skill, and you could be the one that teaches somebody else about a forgotten skill, and they'll remember you forever. All you gotta do is change somebody's life by teaching them something.
A lot of time and watching videos in this entrepreneur space, a lot of times the people that we're watching, that we're trying to imitate, that we're trying to you know be like, that's all they're doing is sharing knowledge and changing people's lives. Like that's literally like the prime
Mm-hmm.
goal of even this podcast alone, to get you to a point where you're better than you were yesterday. And it's like, once you figure that out, once one of these episodes, helps you change your life, like, you're gonna want to share that. It's gonna be ingrained in your mind that I went here, I watched this video, and now my life is like completely
Yeah.
changed because I chose to do this. And I mean, whatever happens afterwards, it's on them. But like, that's gonna be etched in your brain. It's gonna be almost like you've written it down in the stone, and it ain't going nowhere. Like, all these messages we were putting up here on, like you said, like technology, and it's gonna be there after we're gone. It's gonna be there for the next generation. It's gonna be there for that generation. It's forever. Like, you type in the dirty trunk, we're gonna pop up 10 years later,
Yeah.
20 years later, and 100 years later. It's gonna be there, and all we're
Mm-hmm.
doing, sharing information, just having a conversation, having thoughts, beliefs about how we want our legacy to be, how we want our lives to be. Most of the time, we just getting on here talking about how we're doing those things, how we're working toward those things, and how we want those things to happen. And that's all we're doing. Like, y'all could be doing the same thing. Y'all could be looking for that push, looking for that word that y'all just need to get off your hind parts and get the work done. But entrepreneur off of entrepreneur, that's all they're doing. Same thing we're doing. They're just in a better position than we are, but we're still trying to do the same thing. We're still giving y'all a word just because we just want to share information. Some of the stuff is stuff we have a personal connection with. Some of the stuff is just, it sparked something in us. Like this post, it sparked something in Mac that he has to share it. Like, that Mac has been talking about this for like years. Like, since we've met, he's been talking about like how he wants to leave an impression on the world, how he wants his legacy to be known, to be this great empire of something, and he's working towards that. Same with me. I want Morton's castle to be an actual castle one day. Like, if it's a mansion, cool. If it's an actual castle, even better. But like, that's all it is. That's all it is, people. Just having a dream, working towards it, and sharing the information that you're getting to accomplish that dream. That is that simple.
It is that simple. It is. And I ain't, bro, for real, like, I ain't really got too much to add to it, bro, other than the fact that, um I just want people when they hear this message or read something like that, just take into accountability what you're doing in your life, man.
Mm.
Just really take a hard look at how you living, how you're affecting the people that you are that you come in contact with on a daily basis, whether it's your family, especially your family, bro. Because like you spending all this time trying to make your boss happy, but meanwhile, you ain't seen the kid that you got at home. You just you not fooling with them. You ain't got them around. Like anytime they come around, you treat them more like a burden than they are, a child or a loved one. They grow up to remember that.
Yeah.
They grow up to remember that, man. Like I'm speaking from experience when I say that. You remember I was young and I was really really fanatical about my own goals, and I kind of cast it out to people that were around me, my family members, my loved ones, the ones that at one point I did care about. I learned from that mistake. However, like it was something that challenged me because I couldn't find that balance between being a family man and and you know working my job and balancing the entrepreneurship in my life. I couldn't figure out that balance. I couldn't understand how people do it. Um, I can tell you right now, I wasn't as efficient as I wasn't as efficient back then as I am now. And Alyssa helps out a lot with that. But like, what I mean by that is like, you guys you can't focus everything. You can't put all of your energy into one gear. Remember, we talked about our 10 gears of balance. You can't put all of your focus into one gear because the rest of your gears are going to become misaligned. And you had to figure out how to make sure that your whole life is balanced on all scales. You're putting as much energy into your future as you are your present. That is the main goal that you need to focus on, because if you focus too much on your future and you don't focus on your present, the very things that are working with you alongside of you to get you to the future, they're going to crumble. They're going to crumble beneath you, and then you're going to get to a mountaintop, and it may not be where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to bring that right back around. Prime example of all that Max is saying, right? Just like the guy was talking about, he at one point in life he's working for all these jobs. All he's focuses about is, making money, leaving some money for his kids. I mean, at least he had the focus of leaving some type of money for his kids. But uh like I said, like once you're so focused on that, one mishaps it knocks you, derails the entire train. The entire machine doesn't work now because you had one mistake. Uh, and to make it practical, to give you some a better image, you car guys that are out there. My work truck broke down yesterday. Um, Driving home, and all of a sudden, it was perfectly fine. It's running fine. Uh, all of a sudden, it starts running hot, like instantly. Thermometer thing gets hot. I'm like, all right, maybe I can still make it home. 20 minutes away from home. I
You
should be
learn
able to
your
make it
lesson
home.
yet?
Yeah. All of a sudden, you hear this loud roaring and this gurgling, bubbling something inside it. Luckily, it broke down right in front of an Vance Auto. So I pull over, right, and I'm like, pop the hood, check it out. Uh, the thing with the belt on it, the pulley system joint, the what they call it,
The
some
serpentine belt.
yeah, serpentine belt. Serpentine belt. It's no longer belt. It's more like a whip, snapped in half, right? So it don't work. It's not turning those pulley systems, keeping the car cool and all this other stuff. It wasn't,
Yeah.
turning the radiator, getting fluid through the radiator, so it ran hot, right? That that one simple belt, is connected through a whole bunch of pulley systems. It makes them turn, and without that belt, you could mess up a whole lot of stuff. Luckily, I won't trying to push it after that happened, so I just turned in, parked it. But like, it basically won't. I don't think it would move. It probably would move, but I'm like, I ain't gonna take that chance. But uh,
It would.
example.
You won't like it once it does move though.
That's
Eventually,
what.
it'll remind you that it ain't supposed to work like that.
But that's the prime example. That one simple thing. The belt ain't nothing but yay big, yay long, yay wide, small little thing, right? But because it's not there anymore, it doesn't work. It can have a big impact on that vehicle's lifespan. And same thing with your own life. All it takes is a small little mishaps, and you're gone forever. I mean, that's a serious thing, but if not gone forever, you're put in a position where you can't do anything. You can't move. You can't move from that one spot. You can try to move, but it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be more harm than it is good because you had this one little mishaps, because you had this fall on the job, because you had this setback, because instead of being for the people around you, you were for yourself, and now you're in a position where you can't get no help. You can't. No one wants to be around you. No one wants to come to your aid because you were so worried about yourself. You were so negative that do you understand that you have to network to get ahead? You have to know somebody that knows a skill that you don't know to get to a better point in your life. Like
Most people don't.
somewhere you're gonna need help. Like you can't do everything on your own. Let's make that simple. It is you could do everything on your own and get to a certain point, but after that certain point is you're stuck in still water. You ain't moving nowhere. I don't understand. People getting into that mindset of just being for themselves, that they can't move nowhere. They're the people we always talk about. They're that old guy at work. They're that workaholic that works until they die. Uh, the guy I was talking to the other day that I just mentioned, he was talking about how, you know, he had friends, family, whatever, that were working, and they get their retirement, or they get hurt. They It takes like what 3 years or something for them to get like a disability check. Some people, they depend on that check, right?
Hmm.
And they don't even live long enough to get it,
Yeah.
or they get it and like 3 months later they pass away or something like that. And he was
Yeah.
telling me like he had a story where that happened. Somebody was trying to get disability. They finally got it. They didn't even have it long enough to use it. And the money that they did receive, because they passed so early after they got it, the I think it was like the wife or something, they tried to make her give the money back. Like there was a thing in
Wow.
place where she had to give the money back because of something. And I'm just like, we see this plain as day. We see it happen to people
Wow.
around us, and we do nothing to change it. Like the system is flawed. The system is not gonna help you, but yet we
Wow.
depend on it so much.
That's that's interesting. That's very interesting right there. Oh man. I see a lot of people like, especially in this environment, we come across a lot of people who trying to play the system and try to make the system work for them. And instead of creating their own system, they try to mooch off
Mhm.
another system. Whether it's like tax income refunds, changing your dependence
Dependence.
to one, and all that other stuff. So you keep, I don't know, that's a whole thing right there. But
It's crazy that we teach that, and I'm just like, what?
yeah,
Like, yeah,
man, yeah,
claim yourself on your dependency, get a little extra. I'm like, what?
and it's just a temporary increase in your paycheck that you're gonna end up having to pay back at the end of the year. Like, and I'm just like, it really just doesn't make sense. Like, they don't understand that everything balances out
Mm-hmm.
until you figure out, until you make something happen. Everything balances out. Like, no matter what efforts you put into trying to snake your way to the top, nothing ever happens until you make your way to the top. Like, there's no shortcut. Like, it's been multiple people. Like Marcus just said, he just told a story about one. Bro, my dad retired from the army and didn't even make it to see his retirement checks.
Hmm.
And once again, like you just said, the Social Security that he was getting, like that my mom was getting because of his passing, she had to end up pay back. One of the reasons why me and her had the whole beef when a few years ago was because these checks were being cashed in my name, and I ended up having to end up getting hit for it. So, like, there are people out here who are making bad decisions when it comes to their family's financial health, and they are being outcasted from their family because of that.
That's crazy.
Because I'm just being real with you. I don't want nothing to do with nobody who out here trying to snake their way to the top. Like, I ain't about that. So you had to get away from me with that.
Facts. Because even that, with that, you become so toxic that just being associated with that person can bring you down. And we understand that that what that person looks like. It could be family, it could be a real close friend. It could be anybody that seems to be okay, and they're not okay to be around. Like, at drop of the dime, they will stab you in the back, throw you under the bus, and then some. And it's like, you kept that person around for what? For some sense of, uh, oh, I know this person, I grew up with this person. Yeah, but like, people change, and because you're
Mm-hmm.
so close to them, you don't necessarily see it happening. But like, at some point, things don't last forever. So at some point, you have to let that person go.
You'll see it happening if you're cognizant of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Cause it ain't like I see signs, right? Like, real talk. Like, I'll be real. Like, you start changing around me, I understand where the relationship is going. Like, and I feel like I'm transparent enough to show that on my side too. But I guess some people aren't. That they just aren't. They just don't pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They just don't pay attention. Like, yo, for real. Like, the person that you with, like, you can tell somebody who will drop you for a shiny new opportunity. You can tell somebody you can literally
Yeah.
see it in their character that they'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting, especially at work. Because we would have those people that would talk very highly, this person, my best friend, all this other stuff. And I'm
Yeah,
like, bro, that man be putting your business all out there. He swear up and down he don't like you, but yet you think this man is like, you would think that they, after work, they go out and have a couple of beers and drink at the bar together and eat, drink, laugh, and all this other stuff. But they can't stand each other. But like, when they together, they laughing, they joking, and all this other stuff. They in each other's face. I'm like, yo,
hey,
what is this?
hey, neither one of y'all got each other phone number. Y'all reach out to each other or outside of work. Y'all literally just talk about work every time you with each other. Like, that's not.
This is the
Folks,
friendships people have.
Yeah, folks be claiming that they got friends, but they literally just talk about their coworkers.
And that's it. Y'all share one common place of business, and y'all swear up and down that y'all thicker than family, and it's crazy. Cause I'm like,
Yeah,
what sense does that make? Like, I understand, maybe the job is just to the point where it's so bad that they just gotta uh put on this act to make it through. But like, why put yourself in an environment like that? Why put yourself in a situation like that where every day you gotta come in here, be this fake version of yourself, or be this puppet, this puppeteer or something, and fake snake whatever type of way through a 10-hour shift. It's just a 10-hour shift for a job. You doing all this so you can get a paycheck every Friday or every 2 weeks. What is it doing? After a while, it's just you gonna become that person, that fake person. You gonna go home and be that fake person. You gonna live your life as this fake person, and what is that gonna amount to?
a fake life.
Very
Just up here
delusional life.
looking like a whole Barbie or Ken doll.
Mm,
'Cause like if you think about it, like everybody be the jack of all trades. They do a whole lot of a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that, and they live fake lives. Like they're literally Barbie and Ken.
mm. Mm.
The only people who fit those criteria are poor people.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing about it. They the only people who fit that criteria. Like you find a successful person, you know exactly what they do. They ain't like, I'm rich because I do this and I do that. They ain't about all that.
No. Most of your rich people, your entrepreneur spirited people, they talk so energetically. They keep it real. They tell you how it is, cause it's like they work so hard that is no reason for them to fail, and then for you to come around and come with all these excuses, all these sometimes their upbringing was way worse than yours, and you step to them with all this, and they like, whoa, 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 don't bring that around here, cause you got no excuse. I didn't have an excuse back then to get to this point, and what was it? I don't know if you've seen this video, but it was two black men. One, I guess he was like a entrepreneur dude, and the other he's a poor guy, some guy from the streets or something. I don't know why they were on the thing doing a podcast, but the rich guy was trying to give the poor guy some advice, and the poor guy he's just he won't hearing it. He's like, "But you're rich though," and he's like, "But I wasn't always in this position, and I was in the same position you are in. I had to struggle." And poor dude, "But you're rich though. You're rich now. How you gonna tell me about a poor man's life?" He's like, "Cause brother, I was there. Like, yeah, I'm here now, and I'm trying to give you the knowledge to bring you up." And it was very hard to watch. Like he couldn't get past the fact that the other dude was rich and successful, and nothing that rich and successful person said could get through this poor man because he was poor.
That's
He
a
didn't
that's
see
a that's
nothing
a
but
stop. That's a whole episode right there. I don't know why you just breeze past that and act like you didn't just say that shit. That's a whole episode right there. I don't know why you bringing that up right now. Like,
I'll send
bruh,
you the full video later.
what the hell? That is a whole episode, my dude. We are at the end of one.
But people, y'all have to figure it out, and I haven't figured out what it looks like also, but like you have to live for something. Have a dream that's bigger than you. Like I don't understand why we're. It's baffling because I don't understand how you get to that point in your life where you literally believe that nothing else matters but you. Like I I don't know what to call it. Is it narcissistic behavior? Is it selfishness? Even like even those people have someone to depend on or depend on somebody to, you know, they at least use people. But I'm just like, how you get to a point where you don't care about life itself? You don't care about human beings. For some reason, you're the only person on your planet, and that's all you care about. Like you have to get out of that because it's not a life to live. It's not a great life to live. It's not practical. You can't survive like that. It, find a dream that's bigger than yourself. That's gonna change not only your life but others' life, and that will give you what you need to be successful. That will give you the spark, the motivation to be better than you were yesterday. If you just keep that in the back of your mind, I'm doing this for a legacy. I'm doing this for my neighbor. I'm doing this for my wife, my kids, somebody other than yourself. Because let's be real, we don't think very highly of ourselves. I know I don't. I was about to stay up for 48 hours, no sleep, for a job because I knew that I could do it. I was only focused on myself at that point, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say don't water down the message. That was a good ending for the episode. We're gonna end on that note.
All right, sir. What we got coming up for the peoples?
Nothing new to announce at the moment, man. Um, yeah, yesterday was the official start of NaNoWriMo, and
Okay.
I said I won't doing it, but Alyssa she said she's doing it this year, and we back at it again, man. And we'll see. We I want to see if I can get this book done this month. I don't see it happening, but I'm definitely gonna get my 50, and it's. I guess we're gonna get another certificate, man. We'll see what happens, man. It's a
Hey,
lot
that's
more
what's up.
going on now. Yeah, it's a lot more going on now than it was when I first did NaNoWriMo that first year.
Mm.
Still got those certificates sitting right over there, but you know, uh, we we're not doing it for us, man. Every time I sit back and I think about things like the Facebook post that we just read, man. Like every single
Mm-hmm.
time I think about stuff like that, it just makes me want to get up and work, man. Like you guys have to get to a point where everything makes you want to get back to doing what you do. You know, don't ignore the things that you got going on. Your kids are your motivating factor. Your significant other is your motivating factor, man. Get out there and do it for them. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for them, man. And don't disown them while you're doing it. And say it's for them, because that's something that most people do. They push they family away and say, yo, I'm doing this for you though. I'm doing this for you though. Well, they don't really care about that in the moment. You got young kids. Your young kids don't give a damn about your job. Your young kids don't give a damn about the money that you make. Your young kids only want you, your affection, and your presence. So remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's deep. Cause like I've seen that message in so many things, and like so many people say that, but like, did they even ask for that? Like
Nah,
you
nah.
putting all this stress on yourself, and putting yourself to the ringer, but like
And
no
you
one
putting pressure
asked
on
for
them
that.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's easy to do, man. Like it's human
yeah,
nature. I understand it,
yeah,
because like I say it all the time. Like, yo, my kids they're not gonna care about my excuses when they're older, bro. Like, and I feel that like at some, no matter how much you no matter how much you try to accomplish, like the question always gonna be in the back of somebody's mind. Yo, why did my dad do this? Like, why am I left to do this? Like, why did my dad make this happen? Like, the question is gonna always be there. If you don't make it happen, then and that's why that open line of communication and teaching them as they get older, so they can be better than you. Because the term "better than yesterday" ain't only it don't only apply to the day before today. So just remember that, folks. Like, it applies to you teaching the next round in your legacy. How to move forward in life. So your family don't regress, folks. It's not even about just the day of the week.
Amen. Amen. All righty, people. Nothing new on my end. Just getting back into the swing of these programs, these mini programs I got on this computer. So working on that, getting back into that, reclaiming my weekends. Oh yes. Reclaiming my time as well, But yeah. Uh remember, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It's me, your boy Marcus Morton. I always say with me is the Aaron Mack. And before we go, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. And always remember, those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. Yo, we love y'all.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.